These markings are perfectly compliant with Section 3B of the covenants. Your unauthorized landscaping is the issue.
My landscaping? You painted the sidewalk. This is completely absurd.
I woke up to a machine screaming outside my bedroom window and the sharp, oily smell of fresh asphalt burning my nose. Cold air hit my legs as I stumbled out onto the porch in my mismatched pajamas. Bright orange cones lined the sidewalk. A truck with flashing yellow lights sat humming right in front of my driveway. And there, in her neon safety vest like some dollar store traffic cop, stood Karen, our HOA president, waving her clipboard while workers sprayed thick white stripes straight across the sidewalk and the edge of my driveway. I watched them paint stripe after stripe, 22 in total, like a giant cage around my house and my neighbors' cars. Each stripe came with a sign, "No parking, HOA tow zone." When I yelled over the noise and asked what she thought she was doing, Karen smirked and said, "Board decision. New safety lanes. Violators get a $150 fine." Then she pointed right at my truck, sitting half on my own driveway, and added, "Starting with you." Our HOA paved 22 new stripes across the sidewalk. Had no idea I am their code director, but I kept my mouth shut for the moment and felt my stomach twist. I tried talking first. I always do. That afternoon, I sent a calm email to the board with photos and city guidelines linked. No reply. At the emergency HOA meeting on May 3, 2024, at 7:00 p.m., I sat at the plastic folding table while the board lined up behind Karen like nervous backup dancers. My neighbors filled the room but stared at their laps. When I explained that the sidewalk was city property and the stripes cut off wheelchair access, Karen banged the gavel and said, "Appeal denied, next topic." 2 days later I got a bright yellow notice taped to my door, "Violation for blocking HOA lane. Fine due in 10 days. And tucked into the complaint log I finally saw the note that froze me, timeline item 1 April 5 at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. That line snapped something in me. I decided that was my line in the sand. No screaming. No threats. Just rules. Only rules. I sat at my kitchen table with a mug of cold coffee and opened my laptop. Most people in my neighborhood think I work some boring office job. They have no idea I'm the city's code director for public works in the next district over. I can't handle my own streets case. That's a conflict. But I know every law, every form, every person to call. So I went to work. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. Every complaint Karen had filed. Every fine she had slapped on people for parking on what was actually city sidewalk. At City Hall, I pulled public records on our subdivision. No permits for new striping. No variance for sidewalk changes. Then I filed an official complaint and handed it over the counter. The clerk raised his eyebrows when the file landed with 63 pages. A week later, the inspection notice hit the HOA inbox. Karen tried to hide it, but a neighbor slipped me a screenshot. City inspection of sidewalk modifications, May 14 at 9:00 a.m. required, HOA representatives present. She strutted out that morning in the same neon vest, barking at workers to repaint one of the stripes that had faded in the rain. The inspector stepped out of his truck, glanced at his clipboard, and then at me. "Morning, Director," he said, loud enough for the whole cul-de-sac to hear. Karen's mouth actually dropped. I just nodded and stepped back. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted, the inspector reminded her as he walked the line of stripes, measuring distances, snapping photos, shaking his head at the blocked curb cuts and narrowed pathway. He called everyone over and read from the report while phones came out and cameras started recording. "The stripes are on city right-of-way without permission," he said. "They violate accessibility codes, block emergency access, and were paid for from HOA funds without a proper member vote." He flipped a page. Over the last 3 months, there have been 7 complaints made by this board president against residents for parking on public property. Then he pointed at my binder like it was a smoking gun. One of my neighbors whispered, "She played the wrong nerd." When Karen tried to blame the contractor, the inspector calmly showed the contract with her signature. He held up the log I had copied and read out, timeline item 1 April 5 at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. People gasped. Someone in the back started laughing and couldn't stop. The inspector posted a bright red stop work notice on the HOA sign and told her the city would be issuing fines and a mandatory removal order. News travels fast in a bored suburb. By that night, the video of Karen's face when she heard director had hit a local Facebook group and then a neighborhood TikTok page. Comments poured in. People from other states wrote things like, "That's what happens when HOA power goes to someone's head." At the next HOA meeting, the room was packed. The city sent a council rep who explained, in very small words, that Karen had violated state code, misused HOA funds, and lied on multiple complaints. The board voted to remove her as president and bar her from holding any HOA office for 5 years. The city fines were split between the HOA and her personally. Almost $3,000 in total. She tried to argue, but even the old board members looked relieved as they voted her out, one by one. 2 weeks later, the grinding sound of another machine woke me up. This time it made me smile. A city crew was out front, slowly sanding the illegal stripes off the sidewalk. Fresh smooth gray concrete shone in the morning sun. Kids from the street came by that afternoon with chalk and covered the sidewalk in bright flowers, rockets, and goofy faces. A neighbor dropped off a plate of cookies and said, "I had no idea what you really did." Thank you. Life feels quiet again now. People park like normal humans. The new HOA board actually asks for member votes and posts clear notices. Sometimes I see Karen drive by slower than the speed limit, eyes fixed straight ahead, like the sidewalk itself betrayed her. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.